guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're not new to my channel, you know that when this came out I had to get my hands on it because I own all the others, and I am talking about the Juvia's Place Festival palette. When I saw this, guys, I fell in love with the color scheme. Now if you saw my other video previous to this one, I think it was the Deuce palette or the Douce palette, I really wasn't a fan just because those colors didn't personally speak to me as a person. I don't really like kind of like pinks or stuff like that. Like I'm wearing pink right now, but I don't really like, the color scheme just wasn't me. But it was a pretty palette, don't get me wrong. This one though, guys, she is so gorgeous. The orange, the mustard, the red, and like the burgundy, like those colors on top spoke to me. You got a blue right here, which is stunning, and I don't know, I really like it. Now I'm going to basically talk about this palette and then do pictures side by side the other palettes, just in case you want to do a compare and contrast of which one you want. That will include pictures as well, just so it's easier for you, because while I own all of them, I know not everyone's going to want to shell out the money for every palette. It's really not necessary, but I did want to show you guys the palettes side by side in case you are interested in getting one versus the other. Now this is the festival palette. You get 9 shadows and it retails for $21.50. You can purchase it on the Juvia's Place website. I believe if you're in the UK, you can get it on Beauty Bay. If there are other places, I will leave them linked down below, because I do know that if you're trying to get these products overseas, it is costly with duty charges as well as shipping, and I understand that cost is, these palettes are inexpensive for a reason, and you shouldn't have to pay shipping that costs more than the palette itself to get it. It is stunning, and I feel like the camera is not doing these colors any justice. So I have most of the colors on. I have Izafa on my eyes. I have Yuli, Ofala, Manwu, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, and Odagu, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. Please, if you know how to pronounce it, can you leave it down below, because I'm butchering that way too much. But I think it's a stunning palette. I think if you want a palette that has a lot of oranges, a lot of reds, a lot of warmth, this is definitely the palette for you. If you aren't interested in getting the Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette, some of the colors, oh well, the look that I created, I definitely could create with the Morphe 3502 palette. They have similar shades. This Yuli color is really similar to kind of other shades that they have in their palette, as well as Odagu. It's just a gold. I actually have Yuli on top of Odagu just to give it a little contrast. Yuli definitely is like a white silver, and then Odagu is like your true gold, so it's just gold, silver on top of gold. I love Manu on the top of my lid, and then I kind of did like a somewhat halo eye with Ofala and Izafa. I think it's a stunning palette. I could see myself taking this with me on vacation or just using this every day. I love the look that I create with this. I feel like there are so many looks that I can create, especially with the blue. I think that they're stunning. I'll swatch them now. Now if you guys aren't familiar with Juvia's Place, they are an inexpensive brand. They're a black owned business. I love supporting minority owned businesses, as well as, you know, woman owned businesses. So whenever I can purchase from a company like that, you know, I'm gonna go do that. The mattes are pigmented and they are creamy. You got pigment on them. There's never been a problem with Juvia's Place. There was a slight problem on the Zulu palette, like the yellow wasn't as vibrant as I wanted, but it was a more dull or less vibrant yellow, so it is what it looks like in the pan. But these colors are stunning. Now I am sorry that my swatches are terrible, but these are all the color swatches. I didn't prime my arm, there's no primer on it, so these are what the colors look like. Guys, take into account that just because I swatch it, a swatch does not show how it's going to perform on the eye. Even if it shows up a little bit patchy, they blend beautifully. They don't muddy into one another. They are stunning. They're just as vibrant on the eyes. They look stunning on women with lighter complexions as well as women with darker complexions. That's what I love about Juvia's Place. I swear to God, they're going to come out with palettes and I'm going to keep buying them, and you're going to keep seeing videos on them because I just love them. I think that they're inexpensive. They really opened me up to using color on my lids because I am a neutrals girl. I like my browns, I like my pukey yellows, but that's about it. I was never really into colors like pinks or purples or just like colors like this. I never wanted to venture into because I wasn't comfortable. And once I started purchasing Juvia's Place, I really found that comfort within myself to kind of dive into color. Do I think the palette is worth it? If you are a collector of palettes, definitely. I love Juvia's Place. If you love Juvia's Place eyeshadows, this is a definite palette for you. Pick it up, you're not going to regret it. A lot of colors are somewhat similar or somewhat in the same family as other palettes. A question that I get often on my videos is what palette do I recommend? Now, if you don't have any palettes, and like including neutral palettes, I always say get the Nubian, the first one. That is your standard neutrals palette if you just want neutrals, because I do understand that not everyone wants to play with color. Now, if you want to play with color, I always recommend the Masquerade over anything. I think that is a stunning palette. It has all the colors that you would ever want, and it was one of the first. It's pigmented, it's buttery, it blends beautifully. But if you want something that's smaller, because I have the bigger Masquerade, I don't have the smaller one, so I don't really know the size. But if you want something that's kind of more like orangey and red and colors, I could feel like I could wear this in the fall and summer. This is definitely the palette for you. I highly recommend picking it up. I didn't even talk about the packaging. This time they included a male and a female. Beautiful. I always find a lot of inspiration just by looking at the pictures that they put on the palettes. Again, they put the name on the top, so if you put your palettes like this, you'll be able to see the name on top, which I appreciate. It makes it a lot easier for me to find palettes in my collection when I have them stored. I've never had a Juvia's palette come broken to me, and guys, like, if I did, I would tell you guys straight up. I know some people have. I've never received them broken. It actually took 2 days for me to get it. I placed my order on Tuesday and I received it on Thursday. I would have put up this review earlier, but I was actually on vacation, so that's why I am just getting around to it now. But guys, I really enjoy the Juvia's Place palettes. I can't say enough great things about them. I think that they're a small brand and they're still working some of the kinks out with their customer service, because I do know that there are a couple of issues here and there, but I personally haven't had those issues, so I can't really speak on that. But I do really stand by them. I feel like I always create some of my best colorful looks with these palettes, and I always find inspiration with them. I really honestly can't say enough great things about it, about this brand, about these. Like I said, if you are a avid watcher of my channel, you know that I have done a video on all the palettes, not only the eyeshadow palettes but the blush palettes as well. I know that in about 2 weeks they're coming out with liquid lipsticks, and I do want to try those out. I want to try out their other brushes as well, and that's on my list. I haven't forgotten about that. I know that somebody asked me. I have a couple of videos coming up on just other Juvia's Place videos, but if you guys want to see a tutorial on this look, I feel like this palette is great for Valentine's Day. Leave a comment down below and I'll get that to you guys, because I think like colors like this, if you really pair it right, will look beautiful and stunning for any Valentine's Day look. So leave a comment down below if you guys want to see something like that. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helped me and I truly appreciate it. And before you leave, don't forget to subscribe. You know you want to, and when you do, don't forget to tell your friends so that they can tell their friends and 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 their friends, so that we can all be part of this great big familia. Also, make sure you head on over to my social media platforms, my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Twitter. Slide up in those DMs. I want to hear from you guys. I love talking to you. As always, I hope you truly enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!